content creator and cosplayer stalked and harassed at a convention in Japan. Welcome back, my delinquents. Today we have a concerning story about a content creator and cosplayer called Keekihime desu. You may have seen this story going around, as a few content creators have already talked about this. I am mainly talking about this as it's a very concerning situation. Two, we have talked about on this channel a number of times stalking situations and harassment and safety in content creation, specifically VTubers, but in general. So I wanted to touch along this story as a bit of a warning, but as a cautionary tale of inappropriate behavior and safety when it comes to this kind of work, or just how to conduct yourself as a fan, as these are not super unique situations. Unfortunately, even to someone outside of content creation, stalking is prevalent, especially in Japan, where this story takes place. I'm going to go over some of the details here, some of the safety risks. I'm going to go over some of the information of this event. I don't know if it's legal to show their face, so I won't, but I will be talking mainly about the poor victim, not about the harasser, because I think it's like highlighting them, other than the general sense of to watch out in these countries, etc. Now, we're going to go into the story, and just a heads up, this is a pretty serious situation. There will not be much lighthearted jokes. It will be mainly sticking to how serious stalking and harassment is of young ladies in cosplay in Japan, or in general, is in these situations. Let's get into it. We are at our investigation desk, and we're going to start off with our poor victim here at Keekihime desu, who was attending a convention in Japan. Convention being Comiket, a Japanese semi-annual doujin convention in Tokyo. They were cosplaying Osaka at the convention. It's not really important, but it paints a picture of what's happening here. And they were just going to the convention and attending as they normally would when they were approached by a man. And we're going to go into some of the details here, starting with their statement. By the way, I'm done for the day with photos. Thanks for coming. I got assaulted by an old stalker and had a panic attack in front of hundreds of people, so honestly, I feel disgusting, and I don't know what to think. I will, unless it's illegal, release a photo of his face later with more details. They go into more details here of absolutely how little Japanese police are willing to help in these situations, because if you're not aware of this, stalking is very prevalent in Japan. There's multiple documentaries, etc. about this. You can argue all you want about it in the comments. It seems to be a general problem, mainly because there's not a lot of laws to stop stalkers. So a lot of families or young girls or young men don't really have many options when it comes to stopping these people. Unfortunately, they just have to put up with it, because a lot of laws are there to help you after you've been violently attacked. You've been attacked physically. Anything other than that, they can't really help you. So before we go into their reply here, where they go into how little help the police will be to them, I'm going to go into the reply here. I might blur it here, but this was trending around, which is people replying with who may be their attacker, or seems to be their attacker, who was stalking Keekihime for years in the past. This is unfortunately not uncommon. Many popular streamers or content creators have long-term stalkers, especially streamers or content creators, as they release a lot of information about themselves, and it makes it more enticing for these people to stalk. But unfortunately, there is nothing to prevent getting a stalker, even in your personal life. It's just a matter of bad luck or good luck. Good luck, you don't get a stalker. Bad luck, you've gotten a stalker. Because there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason why someone stalks someone, other than famous people or public figures are more likely to get stalked, but it can happen to anyone. You could shake hands with someone at a gas station at your work and end up with a stalker. This seemed to be going on for a very long time, for years, and they were known at conventions that I read at some of the posts as a scammer, or would walk out on paying things at conventions. I don't know someone who has done so many things like this at convention isn't blacklisted, and this is a point I wanted to bring up, that not all blacklists are bad. Sometimes you do need a list of people that cannot attend conventions or attend public events like this, especially stalkers, etc. Not all blacklists or bans are bad. This man should have been banned from these conventions. He should not be allowed to be there. In our ideal situation, see, this is not even his only problem at conventions. And the photographer, a lot of this is blurred out. The photographer took photos of the attack as it was happening. Sorry to keep everyone waiting. I was the photographer who was shooting at the scene. The following is the situation at the time. Long note. I'd just taken the first photo when a man suddenly jumped out from behind the roadblock. Everyone was stunned because of the suddenness of the incident at the time. Two thoughts flashed through my head. He was someone G knew who was following her, I'm assuming. Is she kidding or she really attacked? So I consciously took the photo out of the attack. Next to, sometimes it is better just to subconsciously take a photo because it can help in these situations to prove that it happened. Because sadly, video or photographic proof is the only thing to really help people. But as she goes on and posts after this, that sadly, even with photographic evidence, the police won't do anything about this attacker. I'm going to quickly look at this. I probably will zoom in on my face and not show these photos up close, but just to have a look at the attack here. He seems to grab her, and I've read on another post that he may have had a weapon. And it was a very dangerous situation that could have gone a lot worse than it was. Not saying this isn't already a horrible situation, but luckily it didn't turn into an even worse situation. So we're going to go into this part of it here, where someone suggests that Kiki goes to the police. Pretty much, as much as I hate to say it, the only people that should be seeing that pictures are conventional security, the local police. Posting on social media could turn out to be more trouble than it's worth. Realistically, some countries, it depends on the country you are, some countries have like non-revenge postings that are very odd, but unfortunately, in conventions, it is sometimes better to publicly warn, especially in this situation. Neither one can do anything according to their own words to me. Time to raid your own security for these events then, which is horribly expensive and most people can't do. And they make a suggestion to have another person with them at all time, which is a lovely thought, but Keek was surrounded by people getting photos taken from them. I don't really think having someone here could actually deter this attack unless they were security. Sadly, that's just how these things work. You can be surrounded by people and no one take notice. I've heard some complaints about this in different countries. If you're a foreigner living in that country, they just ignore your complaints because they just don't want to deal with it because it's more complicated when you're a foreigner, which is incredibly annoying. But from other statements from Japanese girls, Japan has this problem too, where they kind of brush aside basic assaults. Not me disregarding this because I think this is a horrible assault, but unfortunately, they do categorize assaults in almost every country. And if there is no physical damage or penetration of any kind, it's not an assault. It's harassment, which then they don't take very seriously. Yes, you can be stalked for years and the police won't do anything. That is how the law works. Horribly, unfortunately, and I don't think it works at all. It leaves a lot of vulnerable people. And this is one of the loopholes that people have to deal with, especially as content creators, because as we talked about in Tricky Wee's videos and some others about stalkers and whatnot, it takes a lot to get them banned or removed from these conventions, and they can just find you through all different kinds of social media. It can get absolutely ridiculous, and they can be violent, they can be harassing, they can invade your privacy. It can get horrible. It can also turn sour, as some VTubers has found recently, with stalkers mass reporting their stuff, trying to remove their income because they didn't get the attention they deserved or thought they deserved, let's be honest. And there's just so many things that can set off the powder keg of these situations that you have no control over. At the moment, other than Keekihime seems to be trying to get some photos and some evidence of this situation, so please don't reach out on DMs to her. You can send her well wishes or likes and stuff like that. Do not DM her or try to contact her, especially that is probably the last thing she wants after being attacked like that. She's also just trying to accumulate some evidence so this doesn't happen again, at least I'm assuming at these conventions, or trying to get the police to take this seriously. And unfortunately, this is a very real situation that a lot of people, men and women, have to deal with, be it content creation or outside of that. Stalking is no joke, and sadly, violent situations can happen so quickly, and it really needs to be taken more seriously, and convention numbers and security really needs to be upped, in my opinion, especially with the number of convention goers that are allowed to go. They seem to be packed more and more like sardines into these centers. What do you guys think? What do you think is the solution of protecting content creators and cosplayers, be it at panels, be it at the convention, or in general? Is there anything that can be done past a certain point? Should laws be tightened around what it takes to be classified as harassment? As it seems at the moment, stalkers are dealt with very lightly. Do you think there should be ban lists among these conventions when certain rules are broken? I'm curious what you guys think. I didn't have tons to weigh into in this situation. I know a lot of people were complaining someone's milking this, etc. I just wanted to really talk about the risks and the outcomes of harassment. Unfortunately, this will probably haunt Keekihime. I keep saying Kiki for a long time. These kind of situations are hard to shake because they can just happen so quickly. And it may take a while for her to get past this. Unfortunately, it's a situation that a lot of people have to deal with, and I hope people realize and take on board that the risks that come with this, the risk of content creation and protecting your privacy the best you can. It may not work, but that's the best you can hope for, is to protect yourself in some way. Or even if the country allows, carrying some sort of pepper spray, siren, alarm, anything like that you can to alert people of someone invading your space. Because at the moment, that in a lot of countries, there doesn't seem to be a lot of solutions. Let me know down below. Thank you for listening, my delinquents. Stay aware, stay safe. Don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that bell, and I'll see you next time, bestie. You got this.